Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to my presentation on information technology and computing at Barnard College. It's going to be a short presentation. We're going to talk about the curriculum and other aspects of the course. We have a link at the bottom of the screen, so I'll just read it out. It's www.barnettsouthgate, all in one word, .ac.uk/computing. So that's the online link to the Barnet website if you need further information. Okay, so welcome. My name is Floyd Anderson. I've been teaching for 15 years or more. Originally from Middlesex University and then on to Barnet College. I am going to talk a bit about the BTEC courses that we run. So we're going to have a little introduction. We'll talk about the curriculum. We'll talk about the courses on offer, the different levels, program areas, progression. And at the end, if we have time, we'll do a FAQ type question and answer session. There is a chat box that we will use. So I'm representing the IT team this evening. We have a small team. We were quite big, but we have a small dedicated team of experienced teachers. I think everybody has worked over, everybody's worked over 15 years. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's about 6 of us. So we're talking about a good 60 to 70 years experience, collective experience in the department. We've seen changes in the department. Obviously, there has been a curriculum change nationally, but whatever happened or has happened, we always focus on our learners, because ultimately we have their futures and welfares at heart. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about IT in Barnet and Southgate College. What we tend to do is we tend to work very closely with local businesses, and we try to track current market trends so that we can match the business requirements and tailor our courses to suit those requirements. And sometimes that means that we have to change modules, or we have to take emerging technologies on board. Sometimes we even have embedded professional courses. So there was a time that we did the CCNA within a particular module. We also had Cisco embedding, we had web development, and so on and so forth. So whether it is necessary or whether we can, we embed professional certification within the main program. That also works for the employability skills that are required for our students. So in terms of our main curriculum offer, we offer the BTEC program, the Pearson's BTEC program at level 2 and level 3 in computing. Okay, so we have the level 2 extended certificate, and we also have the level 3 extended diploma, and we have different pathways. So there is a pathway that focuses on hardware and interactive games development, and then we have a more business orientated pathway So we have two campuses, one at Southgate and one at Wood Street, and they both have different pathways. Okay, so we try to have a broad spectrum. We also do BTEC diploma computing for adults. So the bulk of our students are 17, 18, 19, but we do have one or two classes that facilitate adults. And we also have short courses that we offer as the demand comes up. So we used to do weekend classes, and we're thinking about probably bringing back a couple of those courses. It just depends on the demand or the student intake in any given semester. So at level 2, so we're talking about somebody who's just left secondary school. They've done 1 or 2 GCSEs. So to get onto the BTEC level 2 certificate in IT, we have the following requirements. You need to have 4 GCSE at grade 4. Okay. You need to have a suitable academic reference, or the alternative would be that you have the level 1 diploma at a merit grade in a relevant subject and a level 1 functional skills in English and maths. Again, you need a suitable academic reference if you are taking that particular entry requirement pathway. So just to repeat myself, to get onto the level 2 program, you need to have 4 GCSEs at grade 4. And when we say academic subjects, we are mainly speaking about English and maths. So you need to have 4 GCSEs that include English and maths and a suitable academic reference, or the alternative route would be to have a level 1 diploma at a merit grade in a relevant subject and level 1 functional skills, English and maths, and a suitable reference. Okay, so that's the entry requirements for IT program level 2. So what units we deliver on that particular program? We have the online world, which is a module. Now this module is externally assessed. So that means that Pearson's will have to assess this module. It's a compulsory module. Then we have technology systems. Again, that's externally assessed, which is a compulsory module. And then we have some optional modules. So you have digital portfolio, software development, database development, and spreadsheet development. Okay, now I am going to go into detail about these modules, but I'll do that on the level 3 program because I teach from level 3 upwards. But I am going to come back to content of 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Okay, so this is more my expertise area. I work at level 3. So this is another of the programs that we run. We run the IT program for level 3, and the entry requirements here are 1, 2, 3, 4 different pathways. So you have the ICT software development, digital ICT, and hardware. So to get onto this or any of the pathways, okay, you need 5 GCSEs at grade 4. And it must include English and maths. You also need a suitable reference, academic reference. So from your old school or your teacher or something like that. The alternative would be to have a level 2 diploma at a grade merit in a relevant subject, which would include GCSE grade 4 or above and maths and English. Again, you would need a suitable academic reference. Okay, so just to reiterate what I just said, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 pathways on the IT program level 3. You have the ICT, you have software development, you have digital ICT, and you have hardware. Now, these pathways are delivered at different campuses. Okay, so some would be delivered at the Wood Street campus, and some would be delivered at the Southgate campus. And this is just purely because of logistics. So at the Southgate campus, for example, there is a computer lab, hardware lab, where you can, build computers and take them apart and so on and so forth. So each campus is specialist for a particular area. So that's why it's like that. Okay, so at level 3, again, there are compulsory units and then there are optional units. So the compulsory units are unit number 1, which is called Information Tech Systems. It's externally assessed. So externally assessed, what that means is it could be an exam or it could be a piece of coursework that needs to be verified externally. So marked twice, internally by the teachers and then by Pearsons. The second compulsory unit would be a unit called Creating Systems to Manage Information. Okay, so those are the 2 externally assessed units. And then we have the optional units, which is 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 3, 4, 5, and 6 is using social media and business, cybersecurity, IT project management, and programming. All right, so there's a very good collection there of practical modules that can be useful for an entrepreneur or even a business. Everybody heard about cybersecurity these days. It's sort of like the new buzzword. So we're trying to get students to take these issues on board pretty early. Also, we have some introduction to programming here. And then we go on to the other units, which is 7, 8, 9, 10 to 11. So you've got computer game design, mobile application development, website development, data modeling, and IT service delivery. So you have a wide range of modules, some compulsory and others are. And it depends on the pathway as well. So for example, if you are taking the digital ICT route, as we can see here, I just went backwards. So if you're taking the digital ICT, you would probably do things like Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, which is social media, Unit 5, and maybe Unit 11. Right? Now, if you were doing software development, which is the second pathway, then you'd be doing things like IT project management, programming, mobile app development, maybe data modeling. Yeah. But it depends on your pathway to an extent as to which units would be optional for you. So you wouldn't have a whole bank of modules to choose from. It depends on the pathway. Right, so moving on swiftly. So just to reiterate, we just spoke about level 3 and level 2 units. We went through the units with some detailed information about the modules. So you want to come to Barnet College. How many days a week would you be required to attend? Okay, we have a quite a flexible approach, but the most that can happen is that you could be required to come 4 days a week. This is the worst case scenario. If you're required to come 5 days a week, that means you have to resit your GCSE and we had to try and fit that into your timetable. So resets will be a 5 day a week worst case scenario. And if you have English and maths, then your worst case scenario would be a 4 day week. Okay, so it wouldn't be anything more than 4 days. Okay, yeah, so the start time is usually 9 and the end time is usually 5:50. So hopefully, if you are timetabled, I wonder if I've got a timetable here. I might be able to talk about a timetable. Just bear with me a minute. I'm using 2 computers, so it's a bit strange for you as well as me. Right, so I'm looking at a typical timetable. So we've got a Monday start 10:45 and ends at 5:30. Then on they're off on Tuesday, and then Wednesday they come in at 10:45 till 5:45, and then Thursday they come in at 9, and then they end at 5:45. So different days, you might start a little bit later than 9, which is handy sometimes, I guess. But it won't go later than 5:50. Right, so we cover the following areas. We have wide experience of teaching and interest in these areas. So we have computer networking. These are one of the areas I'm interested in as well. We have dedicated labs. So we have a Cisco lab at Southgate, and we're trying to develop the same at Wood Street. But we do have the equipment, so we can play around with networking and so on. We also introduce cybersecurity into networking, so we cover that as well. We've got web development. We use application packages to develop web, so we do Dreamweaver, Photoshop. We do server-side scripting, so we do some PHP. Yeah. We also do database development. We have a department with animation, multimedia, graphics, film. We also do computer maintenance. So we have a wide range of programs and program areas. Right, we're going to talk a bit about what happens when you finish. So we have quite a large cohort at Barnet, and when they finish, they usually go on to other universities, or they get involved in working for the industry. Okay, so we have a 95% rate of progression to universities or other organizations. And this is just a selection of our progression targets. So we tend to target the computer science areas of development, but we also cover maintenance and IT support. So these are just some of the areas that our students go on to, and these are some of the universities. So a lot of our students go to Brunel. We have quite a high, because of our location, we have a high percentage that get to Hertfordshire. This year we've had quite a few that got into City University. I know of a student that went to Wales, so they got into Aberystwyth on a scholarship. And yeah, this is just a collection of some of the unis that our students get to. So we're nearly getting to the end of this presentation. We're on the FAQs. FAQs. So how would I be assessed? you're going to be assessed by a variety of modes, exam and courseworks. Depending on what course you have been enrolled on. So what qualification will I get? So you probably get a BTEC level 3 extended or level 2, depending on what you've been enrolled on. What facilities do we have? We have industry standard facilities and software up to date. Okay, so whatever's used in industry for developing websites or mobile apps, we have them at the college. Can I enroll on a study program even though I'm 19? Yes, you can. That would be subject to a personal interview. Perhaps we have to take into consideration personal circumstances, but definitely we do facilitate students that are over 19. Can I combine A-level subject with BTEC? You can. Again, that would be subject to an interview. One of the things we don't want to do is overload students with too much work. And obviously the BTEC is a type of, I would say vocational, but it's a type of qualification that is distinct from an A-level type. So that sometimes may not be a good combination for a student, but we do not prevent that. And we would probably have to do an assessment to see if that you would fit that type of criteria to do both of them at the same time. Do I come to college 5 days a week? Most likely not. That would be a very rare circumstance, but it is possible. Okay, so it's possible that you may have to come 5 days, but it's most likely that you won't. Can I get a part-time job while studying? Again, this is not necessarily recommended, but we have facilitated mature students having some sort of part-time work. And again, this is subject to the government regulations and so on and so forth. And it affects your signing on or your parents' income and blah, 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 blah. So whilst we're saying that it's not impossible, it may not be recommended. It just depends on your personal circumstances. Can I get an apprentice job after leaving 2? Definitely. This is one of the progression routes of our students. So not everybody goes to university. Some students prefer to get placed in a apprenticeship, which is it's an achievement. Okay. And I think we are coming to the penultimate slide. Now, these are the contact details of the course leaders. So my email is not here, but the Southgate campus course leader is called Ibo Abu Jackson. So that's Ibo Abu Jackson. And his email is ibu.abujackson, all one word, hyphenated, at barnettsouthgate.ac.uk. So that's for the Southgate campus. The Wood Street campus, the course leader here is Bhavna Shah. So bhavna.shah@barnettsouthgate.ac.uk. These are the 2 course leaders. You contact them for further information, or if you have a request at this present point in time and I can't answer it, I will just direct you to one of these 2 course leaders, and they will answer your concerns via email. Yeah. Okay. So Anne asks if grade 6 at GCSE computer science is the same level or different to an A level. What I would say is that it is almost the same level, but the emphasis with the level 3 is more vocational, if that makes any sense. But at the end, the level is more or less the same. And that is why if you do the level 3, you will be able to go to university, which is an entry requirement. So how many BTECs can you do after secondary school? I think that's a funding thing. So I think it's a funding thing and an age thing. So I think if you're under 19, the government will fund that. And if they do, then they will just fund one of them. So I think you can do one. But obviously there are circumstances where that may differ. Okay. So what opportunities are open after this course, or can you do a degree? That's an excellent question. So Anne has asked, what job opportunities are there? One of the things that you can do on this course, Anne, is that you can get placed on a work placement for 2 to 3 weeks, and you may find out that that's exactly what you want to do. You don't want to go to uni, but you want to go straight into employment. So one of the pathways is apprenticeship and employment. Martin said, or has asked, if this is only online. Okay, we are tending to offer more provision online, but I wouldn't say it's only online. So there are some modules that are mixed or blended, but at the moment, because of the government requirements, most students will come in. Okay, so it's not purely online. Then I have Carolyn. Do students cover all the units online? It states that 18 units will be studied. Yes. So 18 units from the pathway that is chosen. And 18 units will be, I think, extended diploma, and that will be 2 years. So that sounds about right. How many units do you complete? 18 is the answer, Michelle. So we have Roxanne. Do you have functional skills ICT? I believe we do have that, Roxanne. We have functional skills IT. And I think they do that across both campuses. Right. Emir talked about discretionary bursaries. Okay. Emir, I'm not an expert on this, but I think a discretionary bursary, will be funding that you may be able to gain depending on certain criteria. Okay. So, Christopher, maybe this is one that we need to refer to somebody else. Can you hear me, Christopher?
Yes.
Right. So Emir has asked me about bursaries, and I'm not 100% on that one. But
Emir, I can forward you to the
yeah. If you forward that to the right
customer service team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Do you help to support finding work placements? Yes. That is done on the BTEC programs. Martin, okay, can I go to Barnet College? Of course, as long as you meet the entry requirements, but you could even just come in and have a chat, Martin. So we have a help desk, and we have people that man the desk. So whenever you're in the area, you can just pop in, have a look at the campus, and chat to somebody. So the job, this is for Anne. So the job opportunities actually just depend on the course and your expertise, because we do business, and business covers things like travel. There was a time we used to do fashion, and so we got the business, then you got IT. So the opportunities depend on which one of those courses that you have studied. Okay, so thanks for listening, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.